Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Farzy Show, presented by Destination Retirement, destinationretirement.com. And we are coming to you live as we do every day from the Steven Singer studio. We got Phillies conversation to get to. Stop. Everybody, stop. Just had to get that out of my system. He had an error yesterday, and I was like, the Phillies are going to look at that error and go, maybe he should be in the minors for 10 more years. Then maybe he'll be ready. Mickey Moniak actually looks pretty damn good, and Kyle Schwarber talks about team chemistry, despite the fact that the Phillies lost yesterday to the Tigers 7-1. But it's spring training. Who cares about the final score? All we care about individual statistics. If they're good, and if they're bad, we go, it's spring training. You know, like, for instance, Mr. Gibson takes the mound yesterday and does not look too hot. So we'll see how that looks out for the back end of the rotation. As the day went on yesterday, I started to get more annoyed about that 76ers loss to the Milwaukee Bucks. It was something about the feeling I got in the fourth quarter of, where's Embiid? Now, normally he's not in at the start of the fourth quarter, so it didn't hit me at first. But when Giannis really started to go on that tear, I started thinking, where's Embiid? He needs to be in this. But he said it after the game. We played it for you yesterday. They need to match minutes. That's the kind of thing that I don't think Doc Rivers thinks about. And the more as yesterday went on, it was one of those things that was just nagging me. Like if I was doing something, making dinner, whatever was in the back of my head, changing my son's diaper, I was like, this reminds me of how the Sixers played in those 5 minutes without Joel Embiid on the floor. Like that was the kind of thing that was rattling around in the back of my brain all day long, trying to make sense of it. And really, it didn't make sense. And if I didn't make this abundantly clear yesterday, I'll make it abundantly clear right now. Paul Reed did not play in the game that the Sixers played the Bucks right before the All-Star break when James Harden was just acquired. The game that they played was actually, I believe it was 2 meetings prior, and that was the game that Paul Reed actually pulled his punches. And Doc Rivers said that Paul Reed didn't do well in the previous matchup between Paul Reed and Giannis Antetokounmpo. That was a game, I believe, Joel Embiid was out because of COVID, and Paul Reed got the start at center. So for me, that was a situation where you should have called upon what had happened in the previous game that they actually played against each other, their previous matchup, their only matchup of the season, and then maybe incorporate Paul Reed if you saw Giannis was continuing to dominate. I know it might sound weird to say, oh no, Giannis is dominating. Paul Reed is my answer. Get in there, Paul. He might be your best option. More so than Paul Millsap. Maybe better than DeAndre Jordan, who we didn't want to use last night or 2 nights ago now. So that was just something that was just rattling around in the back of my brain saying, well, what was Doc Rivers doing? What was he doing in this game? And if he wasn't going to match minutes, he should have had a better backup answer to do anything that would have resembled somewhat containing, as they used to say. You can't stop him, you only contain him. Hope to contain him. Somebody that had the opportunity, the chance maybe, the roll of the dice to give Giannis a little bit more than he could handle, at least out to the tune of like 15 points in 5 minutes. That would have been maybe too much to ask, according to Doc Rivers. So we'll get back into that a little bit later. I am thrilled to play this interview for you today. Milton Williams jumped off the field to me. The Eagles' 3rd-round pick jumped off the field to me in the first preseason game. He just looked like a guy that belonged from jump. And as we joke about with spring training, and we talk about with training camp, and we talk about with preseason games and football, the only thing I'm looking for that I think is real is to look like you belong. It's not about you get 5 sacks. You know what I mean? It's not about you hit 10 home runs. It's not about that. It's about just looking like you belong, looking comfortable where you are. If you're a rookie, just look like you belong. Look like you have continued that progression of your career from high school to college and out to the pros, and you just look as comfortable as everybody else. There are certain guys, it's easy to tell with a quarterback, they get the happy feet, they get rid of the ball too quick sometimes, they overthrow people. That's right, all right, the moment's getting to you, that worries me. But when it comes to looking like you belong, Milton Williams is a guy that just looked like he belonged from Jump Street. The funny thing is, he was the guy that I referenced this yesterday. He was the guy between Tom Donahoe and Howie Roseman. They didn't exchange the fist bump because Tom Donahoe didn't want Milton Williams. He wanted somebody else. So that was what the camera caught in the Eagles' war room, if you will. I think he went out there and had himself a pretty decent rookie season. Behind some pretty decent defensive tackles, he went out there and he got his. He was second on the team amongst the defensive linemen in passes deflected. He had 2 on the season. Josh Sweat led the pack with 4 passes deflected. But you also have to keep in mind when you think about these numbers with Milton Williams, he was only playing slightly less than 50% of the snaps. So he goes out there, he does that. He also was 5th on the team in tackles for loss. Again, a guy that's only playing less than 50% of the snaps, that's pretty damn good. And again, from jump, he looked like he belonged. So I had a conversation with him yesterday. He was a lot of fun. He plays Fast 5 with us. He'll be joining us coming up in just a minute on the Rothman Orthopedics guest line. And I hope you guys enjoyed the interview as much as I enjoyed conducting the interview. Really interesting dude, to say the least. But I want to talk mostly today about Phillies Spring Training. Camp's about to wrap up. They're about to come north. And a lot of people will talk about club chemistry. A lot of people will also talk about what young guys will have an impact on this team. I am thrilled that Mickey Moniak is having as good a spring as he is having. I know a lot of people love, for whatever reason, to jump out to the bust label when you talk about number 1 overall pick. And he's barely gotten his feet wet at the major league level. Last year, when they were looking for a center fielder to be better than Odubel Herrera, similar to what they're doing this year, Mickey Moniak didn't jump out and take the reins there. Neither did Adam Hazley. He didn't jump out and take the reins there. Scott Kingery certainly did not jump out and take the reins there. Matt Vierling is now the latest contestant on Can You Play Center Field for the Phillies? And we'll see how that works out. Right now, it's time for the team lead in RBIs for spring, and he actually looks very comfortable in spring training. Mickey Moniak is the guy that I'm rooting for. He's the guy that I hope takes over that center field spot. Now, it's not just because he's a number 1 overall pick. It's because he's been a number 1 overall pick. He's handled the pressure of that, and now he's just trying to get back to playing baseball, and he's made some adjustments to his game to do so. Actually, Mickey Moniak was on Phillies.com. Scott Palmer, who, by the way, is a treasure in Philadelphia that we don't talk enough about. Does a phenomenal job, especially in spring training, getting player interviews, talking to these guys, and go on the website. And I think Scott Palmer just does a great job. And what a guy as well. It's Scott Palmer. But that's my little Scott Palmer man crush. But Mickey Moniak was on Phillies.com yesterday where he talked about adjustments to his game. And also Kevin Long, Phillies' new hitting coach, talked about the tweak that they're making to Mickey Moniak's swing that's led them to a 300 batting average so far this spring. Here is Mickey Moniak and Kyle Long on Phillies.com.
I think, putting a lot of work in the offseason and getting here day one, having K Long now has been huge. I mean, day one going over, we had the lockout, so not a lot of communication in the offseason, but, when we got here, he was prepared. He already did his homework, watched all of our bats, and had stuff for us day one.
I just thought if he got closer to the plate, his direction would get better with his stride foot, and it would clear up his lower half. And I'll tell you what, it's been dynamite. I really like what I see from Mickey, and he's feeling pretty good about himself right now.
300, like I said, and all they needed, get you close to the plate. Like Kevin Long's whole job is to make sure guys like Alec Boehm, the swing might have gone awry and hasn't really looked like it's turned any cornered so far this spring. Get a guy like Mickey Moniak and get back to that major league talent that they saw with that first pick in the first overall pick in the draft. Get him back to that talent. And it turns out he looked at Mickey Moniak and the whole thing was, well, let's just step a little closer to the plate. Scooching. Like that was the off season for Mickey Moniak and Kevin Long when he was breaking down the film as to what Mickey Moniak needed to do. And then in the field, he also looks comfortable as well. Joe Girardi isn't 100% confident that Mickey Moniak is going to make the starting lineup. The opening day roster, I should say. I say, how does he not? He needs to be on the opening day roster. If you're talking about a guy and giving him confidence, this would be a good opportunity to give him some confidence. The bat has obviously not been there. The power has not been there up until last year where he really bulked up. Give him this opportunity and see what happens, because I think you're going to have to really rely on a lot of the younger guys to have that kind of prove-it mindset when you have them around guys like Kyle Schwarber, Nick Castellanos, and obviously already Bryce Harper and Rhys Hoskins, who is still a very, very well-respected man in the Phillies clubhouse. I would love for these guys to be around that major league talent. That's one of the things I don't think we've talked enough about. When we talk about Bryson Stott, when we talk about Mickey Moniak, when we talk about the young guys here, I want to see them at the major league level, not just so they can work on their craft, not just to give them that opportunity, but I really want them around the minds that you've assembled in this lineup, like Castellanos, like Real Muto, obviously like Kyle Schwarber, and of course Bryce Harper. Those are the guys I want them around. I don't want them going down to the minor leagues. I want them here at the major league level. Learn on-the-job training. And I know a lot of times we look at it and say, oh, he's too young, whatever. Bryce is not, I can't say it enough, 24 years old. He'll be 24 for the season, turns 25 in October, hopefully when the Phillies are still playing baseball and breaking that playoff drought. So for me, I'm looking at it like this. These guys look like they deserve the opportunity to play at the big league level. Bryce is not, I was joking about it earlier when he made the error yesterday in the field. It was a sharp hit ground ball to third base. He was 1 for 3 from the plate, so he's still hitting 500 in spring with a 609 on base percentage. Bryson Stott, not bad. But I was worried that the Phillies were looking at that going, nah, he couldn't handle that one. So, yeah, back to the minors. See you. Come back when you're 30. You know, that's kind of the mindset I think a lot of people think the Phillies have. But for me, if you just put him at the major league level, say, hey, man, this is the shot. This is an opportunity. You're young enough where this won't be your only opportunity. But I never thought you're always going to ruin somebody's confidence by bringing them up too early. If you pitch it the right way, you tell them, hey, this is your opportunity to get your feet wet. We need somebody at third base. Your talent level is there. We need someone to fill in at shortstop occasionally. You keep them to those two positions and not look at him and say, oh, well, maybe he's a left fielder. No. God, no. Give him the opportunity to play the hot corner. Maybe he's your DH occasionally, whatever it might be. But I think Stott and I think Moniak need to be on your opening day roster. These guys are big league ball players. Give them the opportunity yet again to prove it, at least yet again when it comes to Mickey Moniak, and give him the opportunity right now and Bryson Stott to prove that he can be a big league ball player. Because the other part of this is, and something else that gets left out far too often, is how much Bryson Stott is already under the wing of Bryce Harper. If you want to manage that guy's confidence, his boy, his brother in Las Vegas, Bryce Harper is right there to help him along. Now, something else that came out yesterday I thought was really interesting was Kyle Schwarber. We're all amped up for, what did we say yesterday with our man or 2 days ago with Dave from UK Phillies? Looking at this lineup with Kyle Schwarber, Nick Castellanos, you're talking about 80 home runs, hopefully, between the two of them. I saw somebody commented yesterday after the show about possibly getting these guys 100 home runs between the two of them. Yeah, let's go, man. Yeah, let's root for that. But Kyle Schwarber talked about how in this division, where you got some pretty damn good arms, especially up there in New York with the Mets, what they got going on with DeGrom and Scherzer and all that. If you're looking at what this team could do, it's really going to come down to grinding out at bats. And they're not going to be guys that are going to be jumping out and all of a sudden you're going to be seeing for the first 10 weeks of the season, or excuse me, first 10 days of the season, you're going to be seeing, 12-5 ball games in favor of the Phillies. Kyle Schwarber saying how it's going to take a minute for this chemistry to come together, but once it comes together, oh boy. And he also talked about, this is again with Scott Palmer of Phillies.com, he also talked about how this lineup is going to come together and how quickly it'll come together behind a guy like Nick Castellanos. Here's Schwarber on that.
There's going to be things that you're going to work out. You haven't seen pitching in how long now, so just got to be able to take it day by day and try to be like Nick Castellanos, who just hits rockets all over the place.
No kidding. What's that like watching him?
Well, I got to see it beforehand in Chicago, so
that's right.
I know what he brings to the table. The guy brings passion, fire, and he brings barrels. It's a pretty special team. When you look at the group of individuals in here, and you see what they've done in the past, right? So we're all going to get to know each other. We're all going to get to know what makes us tick. And once we all get up to Philadelphia for Game 1, it's game on. And I think it's going to be I don't want to throw out any bold projections or anything like that, but it's going to be a fun year. It's not going to be an easy division. I think we all know that. It's a really good pitching division, and we're going to have to grind those guys out and try to get in that bullpen and go from there.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I think that's a safe guarantee. That's a safe guarantee. He's not saying World Series, baby, but he's saying it's a safe guarantee. And I'll take that. I'll take the fun season as of right now. But I need playoffs. And I think every Phillies fan needs the playoffs finally, because we know how electric the city is especially when you leak in October with these games, and especially when you see the Phillies playing some postseason-worthy baseball. We know how electric Citizens Bank Park can be. But how about that when it comes to a guy like Nick Castellanos? Passion, fire, and barrels, baby. That is the motto of the Phillies season as far as I'm concerned. Passion, fire, and barrels. That's what I need every single time down at the ballpark. Passion, fire, and barrels. Let's make that happen. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get to today's guests, let me tell you about our great presenting sponsor, Mike Seibert of Destination Retirement, destinationretirement.com. Mike is a retirement income certified professional at Destination Retirement LLC, a partner of 1847 Financial, and an advisor for Eagles, Sixers, and Phillies fans only. Maybe next year. Flyers fans, maybe next year he'll get you. And when he does get you, oh, you're going to be in for a treat. And listen to this, especially young people out there thinking retirement's so far away. Get ready right now for retirement with my man Mike Seibert at destinationretirement.com. When it comes to long-term savings, why are you giving up current enjoyment of your income? Don't do that. Talk to my man Mike Seibert. The answer is to have an income stream in retirement. It only makes sense when you understand how retirement income streams work so that you can have direct savings in ways that give you the highest income when you retire. Don't you want to kick back and relax in retirement years and not have to worry about money? That's why you got to talk to my man Mike Seibert. Think of it like climbing a mountain. The objective, is it to get to the top of the mountain, or is it to get to the top of the mountain and then get safely back down the mountain? That's retirement and preparing for retirement. Going up the mountain is your accumulation phase. Going back down is the distribution phase. These are two different phases in your financial life, and each should be stressed separately. This month, let's talk about college planning with Mike Seibert. We all know that college is expensive. Have you ever thought about how it will affect your retirement? Let Mike show you an effective and efficient way to help pay for your kids' college and still retire on your own terms. Your first step is to avoid starting your growth cycle over by depleting accounts like 529s for big expenses like college. You don't want to lose your position on your growth cycle, so you don't also want to have to start over. You can't get that time back. Instead, set yourself up with the ability to use vehicles that you can take money out without starting your growth cycle over again. Find out how you can do this with my man Mike Seibert at Destination Retirement. Find out how your annual retirement savings can help your college savings. Doesn't that sound easy? Mike makes it so much easier. And then your college savings and your annual savings can help your retirement savings as well. It all works together. Mike will set up your own portal in Retirement Analyzer, then use the software to help you navigate through the different phases of your financial life. For questions or to set up a meeting with Mike, you can email him at, listen to this, gobirds@1847financial.com. That's right, gobirds@1847financial.com. How simple to remember is that? Or you can also call his office at 484-275-6035. That's 484-275-6035. You can also visit his website at destinationretirement.com. And as always, go Birds and play the song. And remember, hit him up on the email, gobirds@1847financial.com. Let me tell you about Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers, the other corner of 8th and Walnut, right on Jewelers Row in Philadelphia. Ladies and gentlemen, do what I do with all your jewelry purchases. Trust my man, Steven Singer. For over 40 years, he's been in the love business of Philadelphia, helping Philadelphia not only fall in love, but cement that relationship with a diamond engagement ring. He has the Ready for Love diamond engagement rings with a whole plethora of options when it comes to the type of cut. Princess cut, a cushion cut, whatever it might be. They'll all be sparkly and they're all beautiful. At our man Steven Singer, the other corner of 8th and Walnut, and always fast and free shipping at IHateStevenSinger.com. Now, why do you always see this? I always get text messages from friends of mine. Hey, what's this? I'm driving up 95 to see this. I Hate Steven Singer. Who's Steven Singer? Oh, that's the whole thing right there. People are going to look up who they love. They're only going to look up who they hate. Steven knows how to market, my friends. He knows how to market. So trust my friend Steven Singer. And I'll tell you why people say I hate Steven Singer. Because it's other jewelers talking a lot of the times. They hate Steven Singer because he doesn't mark things up just to mark it down a couple of $100 in front of you just to make it feel like you won something. No. You walk in, you get taken care of at the perfect price every single day. No hassle, no haggle, perfect price. You get it, the person next to you get it, everybody gets it. That's Steven Singer Jewelers, the other corner of 8th and Walnut, right on Jewelers Row or at IHateStevenSinger.com. One place, one price, the perfect price every single day. IHateStevenSinger.com. Without further ado, let's jump on the Rothman Orthopedics guest line, ladies and gentlemen. Talk to our man Milton Williams about his rookie season, about the leadership of Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham and what it meant when Fletcher Cox signed his new deal with the Eagles to come back. He also tells us where he was and what he was doing when that deal got signed by Fletcher Cox, and also how to get a free meal in Philadelphia. We all need to know that, don't we? Well, Milton Williams walks us through it all. Without further ado, let's jump on the Rothman Orthopedics guest line and talk to our friend Milton Williams. On the Rothman Orthopedics guest line, no longer a rookie, so don't throw that at him. Going into his sophomore season in the NFL, third-round pick from last year's NFL draft, Milton Williams joins the show. What's going on, Milton?
What's going on, man?
I have to ask you, we're going through the draft process now. It's going to be a month out. We're a month out from the NFL draft, a little bit less. What is this time of year like? Do you think back to your own process? What was it like when you were right before you were drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles?
Man, I tell people all the time that was probably the most stressful part of my life up to this point, just because you're so focused on your training, getting your position work in, trying to make sure you got the right technique on everything, lifting weights, all that going into it. And some guys are still taking classes, and then you meeting with for my group, we had the COVID, so no combine. And then we had to like meet with all the coaches online, like Zoom call, like kind of like how we're doing now. So I had to do this with every team, probably like 2 or 3 times a piece. It was just a long, stressful process. So I'm glad I got through it and got picked up by the Eagles. And shoot, we just getting just the beginning right here.
Were you one of the lucky people that got to play rock, paper, scissors with Nick Sirianni?
I did not get to play rock, paper, scissors with Nick Sirianni. I'm trying to remember, because the funny thing was, I think I really only talked to the Eagles once in my pre-draft. I talked to the D-line coach, and that was it. But I guess he must have had me like on speakerphone where everybody could hear me, because they all kind of like said something once I got there.
Okay, yeah, easy enough. What were your early impressions of Nick Sirianni when you finally met him?
Man, he a true player's coach. He'll do whatever it takes to win. And he'll get on your ass if you ain't doing what you got to do. And if you want to win and you're a competitor, you gonna always respect it about him. So no matter the situation, we trying to win. So if I'm slacking, let me know. Yeah, he tell us if he's slacking, let him know. So try to keep that relationship tight.
You grew up in the Dallas area, if I'm not mistaken. So I want to ask you 2 things. 1, were you a Cowboys fan growing up? And 2, what has your early experience has been like with the city of Philadelphia?
No, I was not a Cowboys fan. I actually was a Seahawks fan because of Madden 07, Sean Alexander cover. So he was on the cover. I used to just play with him. I'm like, this is gonna be my team. So I was a Seattle fan for the longest.
Oh, okay.
The Philly fans, they cool, but like they say, they gonna let you know about it if you ain't handling your business. They gonna let you know for sure. So
yeah, I always tell people, that are coming to Philadelphia. Philadelphia is the city that will tell you, yes, your butt looks big in those pants. Like, we will be completely honest with you at all times.
Yeah.
What have your experiences been like walking around the city? What do you like to do around Philadelphia?
Now it was when I first got to Philadelphia. Me and Zach McPherson, we had just got down there like a week. We was trying to get some Philly cheesesteaks. I forgot where we went. I think it was Ishkabibbles or something. But we was walking, and it was some other restaurants, and we just see this dude, like, he just sitting there, like, we don't see him, and he got his phone like this. Like, recording us walking by. I was like, whoa, man, first of all, how you know who I am? I ain't having no Eagle stuff or whatever. We just kind of looked and was like, what's up, man? Hey, how you doing? But that was just one kind of funny, weird story. But the fans cool, man. They always gonna show love. I think pretty much any restaurant in Philly, I can go tell them who I am if they don't already know, and I can eat free. Another good thing.
How does that process work? Do you just kind of start there with the meal and be like,
Yeah, like you can call the manager up, hey, like, man, I really enjoyed the food. I played for the Eagles. They kind of told me to come. Oh, really? Oh. And then they give it to you just like that. Yeah, man, whenever you come through, just let us know. And that's what I tell people all the time. It's like, when you finally, like, get money, then everybody want to give you stuff for free. So it's like, I don't know. That's a little weird dynamic.
That is a weird dynamic. I'll ask you this then. When you sign your first contract, obviously, as a rookie, the rookies don't make, compared to the veterans, don't make that big, money. But compared to what you might have been doing before, it might be a couple of extra bucks. What was your first big purchase when you signed an NFL deal?
My truck. I got a Cadillac Escalade 2021.
Nice, very nice.
That was my first purchase, and I'm gonna have that for a minute. So.
That's good. Good. Hang on to that. Hang on to that for a while. I want to ask you about Jonathan Gannon and the rest of the defense, because around the middle of the season, we saw this shift where the defense really started kind of hunkering down. And you had, I believe, your first career sack against Jared Goff against the Lions and that blowout victory. What was it like kind of going through the entire year with Jonathan Gannon's defense? Was there a major adjustment that was made? Was there better execution from you guys, the players? What kind of happened throughout this season with that defense?
I think just like me, JG, this is his first opportunity to call defense. So I'm a rookie player. He a rookie defensive coordinator. So I think we both kind of just was trying to, like, feel our way through and learn to get experience as we go on, and then trying to, like, work out the kinks throughout the year. So like you said, like towards the middle and then towards the end of the year, everything just started clicking, and that's because the coaching kind of picked up. They were trying to go more into detail, and then sometimes, most of the time, it just really come down to the players just executing better. So we got to a point where it was like, at the end of the day, we got to do it. The coaches ain't out here playing. The players got to do it. So whatever we got to do, make sure we're going to get it done, and make sure we holding up our end of the bargain.
Mm-hmm. What does it mean to you to have Fletcher Cox coming back for at least one more year with the Eagles?
Man, like I tell him all the time, him and Javon Harper, they done helped me a lot. So if he's sticking around, that's just gonna help me even get better and better. Just watching him, being in the film room with him, and just continue to learn from those two. Because one day he gonna be in the Hall of Fame. So I needed to try to steal whatever I can from him while he's still around.
Where were you when you saw the news? Did you see the news that he was released? Did you think he wouldn't be back at any point, or were you kind of confident he would be there next to you this season?
I actually was kind of doing what I was doing. I was playing the game, and some of my buddies called me. Hey, man, you saw? I'm like, what? They go look. So I pull up Twitter. I see Fletcher Cox release. I say, what? So then I kind of was looking. I'm like, man, he ain't going nowhere. I know he ain't going nowhere. So then I saw the report. It was like, yeah, he working on a smaller deal to come back, but people was calling me, texting me, like, it's your time. I'm like, man, whatever. I'm gonna control what I can control. That's all I can do. So I'm still gonna work. I'm still gonna do what I gotta do and make sure I'm coming back to Philly in the best shape to take that next step. But if he's still gonna be there, there's nothing.
What about first off, what game were you playing? What's your game of choice these days?
NBA 2K. NBA 2K, that's my game. Madden be kind of tripping sometimes,
Too many glitches.
2K got a couple in there that kind of make you want to break the controller, but I've been having fun out here with my buddies. Okay,
who's your squad for NBA 2K?
Two of my high school. Well, really, I've been knowing these guys since like first grade. So my boy Kobe and my Keith.
Oh, you guys are all playing together on the same team?
Yeah, we are my player. We get on my player. We go to the park and play 3-on-3 versus whoever get on the spot and be running through them. So.
Yeah. I have yet to get to that level of video game playing. That's a little bit after my time. When it comes to guys like Brandon Graham, I know he wasn't there throughout the entire season, playing at least, due to the injury. What has Brandon Graham's influence been on you so far as a rookie? We're through your rookie season.
Man, like I tell people all the time, it's some days you don't feel like doing nothing. You go to practice, you just like, woo. But then you look over and see somebody that's been doing it for 10 plus years, and he going hard. He not taking no reps off. He doing all the extra. And I'm like, well, I see him. It's like I have no excuse, none. I have no excuse. All the seasons and practices and all the stuff he's been through, and he's still out here busting his tail. I don't have no excuse. So just seeing him do that, I'm making sure I'm trying to. Same thing with Fletcher. I'm trying to copy both of them. Trying to make sure I'm giving full effort, doing the extra that's needed. Make sure I got the drills right, the play call, all that stuff. So he was a big help for my rookie year.
After you talk to somebody who just went through their rookie year, I think I am legally obligated to ask you, what was your welcome to the NFL moment?
Man, I don't even like talking about it because it's just like, I feel like I should have got a flag, but it was like they ain't throw it. But I guess so. We playing San Fran. I think it's like my third game of the season. So I'm still kind of fresh, kind of like just like okay, trying to just get an understanding, get some experience or whatever. So I'm going against Lake and Tomlinson, their left guard. It was a run play, so we stalemate or whatever. The ball go this way. So instead of me, like in college, I could just drop my hands and run. NFL, they not gonna let go. So I'm thinking I'm still in college. He latched on. I dropped my hands to run. He's still on. So he kind of give me like, boom, like, get me on the ground, my back and everything. And I'm like, I'll get up. I'm like, Ref, what's the flag? And he was over there laughing. The ref was like, so I'm like, bruh. But luckily, I guess when the coach watches film, they kind of like just moved it to the side. They want to show. But I just saw that play so many times. Like, man, he kind of got me.
What was the reception like when you went back to the sidelines?
I don't think because I was away from the ball, so I don't think that many people saw it. But okay. some of my rookie teammates, they're like, I saw you. And I'm like, bro, he was holding. They were just laughing, but it's all good.
Right.
You playing in the NFL, somebody gonna get you one day. Somebody gonna get you.
I asked you about playing next to guys like Brandon Graham and obviously Fletcher Cox. What about the offensive side of the football? Did you get an opportunity to go up against Jason Kelce enough in practice? Did you get an opportunity to play against, first team QB like obviously Jalen Hurts? What was that experience like for you in practice, if so?
First of all, them two, Jalen Hurts and Kelce, they're on a different type of wavelength. They kind of know what each other thinking at all times. I guess they do put in extra work meeting or whatever, but they're on a different wavelength. But one thing I'll say about Kelce is he's not the biggest guy, but he's strong and he gonna move quicker than you. He gonna beat you to the spot. So that's how he get a lot of guys. You see it like a big nose type of trying to line up in front of him. If we run a sweep or something, he already reached before the ball snapped because he controlling the ball. And then with Kelce being a veteran, they let him kind of like move the ball a little bit, try to like play with the defensive lineman. So I guess him being a vet, he can get away with it a little bit, but he gonna beat you to the spot every time. So I try to make sure I get my hands on him first. But we definitely had some battles in practice. And then Jalen Hurts, he's just a guy that you watch in practice. He going over everything, trying to make sure everything right. Don't let him get out the pocket because he's going to score or throw a touchdown. So that was our big emphasis in practice.
Through the offseason, we referenced Fletcher Cox already, but you guys have added Hassan Reddick. You guys have also added White linebacker, obviously, to your defense. Are you following all that throughout the offseason, seeing that you guys are adding pieces defensively?
Yeah, definitely. But I think I'm kind of following like every team, especially my team. But I guess just growing up, always watching NFL, playing Madden, knowing who's going where, see who's getting traded and all that stuff. So I see it all and kind of pay attention to it all. But I like the moves we've been making.
When the season ended, I know you guys always have conversations at the end of the year, kind of exit interview type deals. What did the Eagles tell you that they wanted you to work on throughout the offseason?
They kind of told me that they like how I improved every game at the end of the year, but they just want me to be just be a more accomplished pass rusher when I come back. So I think that's one of the things I've been working on constantly, because I feel like that's really like the only part of my game that needs work the most, because I think I'm pretty stout in the run game. As you can see, if you watch the tape later on in the year, I was trying to make it my mission to make sure like there ain't no hole right here. If they come over here, it's my tackle. So yeah, y'all gonna either have to throw a screen or do something else to try to get me out the way, but they ain't finna run it right here. Double teams. So
Well, yeah, I will say you were on my radar early, not just because you were a third-round pick or anything like that, but I remember you had a really good first preseason game, and I was doing a post-game show for the game, and I just remember thinking, Milton Williams will be on my radar. So I did keep an extra close eye on it throughout the season, and I think the numbers help tell a good story for what you were able to do. You were 5th on the team overall in tackles for loss, which is pretty damn good. You were also 2nd among the defensive linemen for deflected passes. The only guy that had more than you on the defensive line was Josh Sweat. And I got to imagine you're playing a little bit less than 50% of the snaps throughout the season. So just to be in those categories, ranked that high, is pretty damn good.
Yeah, and that's I just kind of, and I'm glad that you kind of say that, because I think I'm myself's biggest critic. So I do feel like I left some plays out there, sacks, TFLs, tackles, all this stuff. But just to know that I'm up there on those lists, it made me feel a little bit better.
That's what I'm here for. Maybe let me on your 2K team. Maybe you're an NBA 2K team, and I'll help beat your friends or whatever it might be. Do you ever interact with fans on social media? I know you're a Twitter guy. You're on Twitter. Do you ever go back and forth and have some fun with these people?
I do sometimes. Sometimes I get a funny DM, or people be asking me for advice or something like that. I'll weed them out and see which one I want to reply to, but I don't get back to everybody. It'd be too many sometimes.
I'm sure. Wait, advice? Like what kind of advice? Like life advice?
Just asking about like, well, how can I get better at football, or how can I do this? And my main thing is just staying consistent.
How can I get a free meal in Philly?
Oh, I mean, I don't know, you gotta talk to somebody about that.
Good enough. I also want to ask you this one more thing, personal question here. Your sisters, you have 2 sisters. Is it Michaela and Mia?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What, and you're Milton. So what's with the M names? What are mom and dad doing there with the M names?
Well, I guess my dad's name is Milton too. So my mom's name is Willinette. So I don't know. I guess she just wanted to go with the M. They had Michaela, so I guess they named her M. And then they were gonna have one more, but when they went and got the what's it called? The sonogram? That's what it's called, to see what the baby. Is that what it's called?
Ultrasound or whatever sound? Yeah. Ultrasound. Yeah.
Ultrasound. So when they saw the ultrasound and the doctor told them they was having twins, so they was like, okay. So I guess they just came up with two more M names.
What's it like growing up in a house with 2 sisters?
Oh man, if you can see the look on my face, you kind of know. It's just I'll be trying to do my own thing. They kind of get annoying and want to tell on you for doing stuff, or if y'all play fight, you hit them too hard or you push them too hard, then here come pops. Like, I know you can't be putting your hands on the girls.
Of course not. Of course not.
I'm good. But the one thing I always tell people is my twin sister. I think my twin sister is she was a better athlete than me growing up. And I was always kind of jealous of her because of that. But so
what was her sport? What was she playing?
She played basketball. She ran track, cross country, and she could have played football if she could. If they would let her play, she would have played.
All right. When can I get your sister on the show?
Shoot, I don't know. Whenever she got time.
Fantastic. All right. Let me ask you, I want to play Fast Five with you, if you would indulge us. Just 5 random questions we ask every first-time guest of the show. Are you willing to play Fast Five, my friend?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. Milton Williams, right now I'm going to ask you Fast Five. First question, best job before your NFL job. Best job before your NFL job.
Never had a real job.
God bless you.
Never had a real job, but I did try to make a side hustle cutting people's yards for $20.
Oh, there you go. A little landscaping. Good for you. I do the same thing, except no NFL career. Go to fast food place.
Ooh, I'm going to have to say Whataburger, but in Philly, they don't have Whataburger.
Let me tell you about Whataburger, for instance. Now, you said Whataburger. I say Whataburger. Is there a thing there? What am I missing?
I don't know. I just hear, I guess down south, we just say Whataburger.
I have had a Whataburger, and I was unimpressed.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, what did you get? What kind of, just a regular one?
I got whatever the number one was with a Coke or something, whatever. Yeah, I just was like I used to travel a lot, and I would always go to a local fast food place that I didn't know about, like In-N-Out Burger, obviously in California, Whataburger, Bojangles, even though I think they're coming to this area. But Whataburger, I remember thinking, meh.
Nah, you gotta get the patty melt or the sweet and spicy bacon.
Okay. All right. Next time. Mental note. First date deal breaker.
Talking too much. I don't like people that talk too much. So either they talking too much or like they being rude to like the people that's working, like the waitress or things like that.
Sure.
I see that.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Favorite city to travel to?
Favorite city to travel to? I don't really have one yet because before I got to the NFL, I was really just in like Texas, so I ain't really just travel a lot like that. But I guess now I'm going to LA. I've never been to LA. I'm going to LA. So
Okay.
So I'm gonna see what that's like, and then since I ain't never really just been nowhere, that might be my favorite.
How about random question? This is an aside. This is question 4A. Is there a place in the world you want to go?
Place in the world. Ooh. I low-key want to go to China. That might be.
Why not? Why not go to China?
I
Sure.
kind of want to just see what it's like.
Walk around that wall they got.
Yeah, and just see what it's like. I know it'll be something different for sure.
I would think so. And then finally, Milton Williams, you seem like a really nice guy. All right. But what makes you honk your horn in traffic?
Ooh. If somebody cutting me off or if I'm driving and they just like getting over, it's like, come on, like, what you doing, man? Either they looking at their phone or something, like, bro, put your phone down and drive, then look at your phone. Don't put me in danger because you're trying to text or whatever. So that'll definitely get a little beat from me on that.
Gotcha. I mean, you're driving around that beautiful Escalade truck. You don't want to ding that thing up.
Don't touch my truck, man. Don't let anybody touch it.
Milton, this was a lot of fun to catch up with you, man. Really nice to get to know you. Really impressed with your rookie season. Keep up the good work, and obviously keep on learning from guys like Brandon Graham and obviously Fletcher Cox as well. This was an absolute pleasure, my friend.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. Milton Boys, make sure you guys are following Milton on Twitter as well, and all social media platforms where you guys could chop it up a bit as well, and feel free to ask life advice because he'll get back to you. Milton, thanks so much, brother. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Milton Williams joining us on the following the chat while we were doing the interview. You guys got the same vibe I got, and I hate using this term for dudes, but he's a sweet guy. Oh, like he is so Texas. He's so unbelievably Texas. There was and on the other side of this, it's like people not from our area, especially people from Texas in particular. I know we talk about a lot with people from the Midwest, and when the Eagles were in the Super Bowl in Minnesota, and I was out in Minnesota, and getting to talk to a lot of Minnesotites, but whatever they are, when they're like that. It's like they're so nice, we don't know what to do. But I feel like Texas people are so unbelievably genuine. Yes, they'll sneak in a bless your heart, which I think everybody knows by now means go to hell, or hey, idiot. But like he's such a nice guy that it was like it was almost like I didn't want to offend him in any way. Like even asking him about his sister, so I was like, should I even ask him? But he was having enough fun. I think when we got to that point that I could. But yeah, just such a nice guy, man. Just such a nice dude. I do like the idea of him and Zach McPherson walking around going to Ishkabibbles, and then people like looking at him and following them, knowing that they're Eagles players, and then they go out to dinner, and it's like, hey, this is a great place, and I play for the Eagles. Oh, meals on me! Like, it's just hilarious. But really enjoyed that conversation. What a good dude. What a good dude. And yeah, wait, am I saying it wrong? It's like what a burger, right? Like what a burger. Oh, what a burger, right? Is that the way you say that? No, am I off? I'll tell you my Whataburger story when we get to the chat check in a second. But let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, about the great people of Rothman Orthopedics, who sponsor our fine guest line each and every day. When you have an orthopedic issue, you need a physician who eats, sleeps, and breathes orthopedics. You need an exceptionally specialized Rothman Orthopedics physician. They not only specialize in orthopedics, but each of their physicians only focuses in on one area of the body, which means you can have the confidence to get past the pain and be what you were. Visit them in one of their 30-plus locations in Pennsylvania and New Jersey, including 4 orthopedic-only urgent cares. Learn more at RothmanOrtho.com. That's RothmanOrtho.com. How about the great people of WinView? WinView is the only game where fans can take on other fans and end the debate once and for all. Who is the biggest sports fan? If you have those friends and family members who think they know everything about sports, challenge them to a WinView contest. Download the WinView app to your phone, have your friends and family members do it as well, and see if they can walk the walk as well as they talk the talk with all that jive, those jive turkeys. So make sure you have yourself a good time with the WinView app. It's not a sports book. It's not daily fantasy. It's a social gaming app where fans can take on other fans and win real money prizes for making predictions on the games that you love so much. So download the WinView app right now. How about the great people of PHL Sports Nation, Philadelphia Sports Nation, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience across all social media and blogs? That's PHLSportsNation.com. I'm really looking forward to jumping in this chat. Let's jump into the chat check right now, ladies and gentlemen. I saw that we had an issue, so I'm going to address this right now, okay? Because you know what? I'm going to be honest. Alyssa, EM, rest of the chat, EM, I've been there, okay? I've tried to be friendly. I've tried to drop a little like hi, hello to a lady. I'm not saying that you were going over the top and flirting, but I have tried to be a little friendly. I'll put it like that. And the lady, no, thank you. And when the lady says no, thank you, you just go, hey, Miss Kuzi, and we move on with our lives. That's generally how that goes. It may not be what you intended. It may not be what you intended, but that's how it was taken. The example I have given is in my college days. I had a job. I was working as a salesman at an athletic club selling memberships. Hey, do you want to get in shape? No, it was not my pitch. But there's a couple older ladies I worked with. One lady, she was very sweet and stuff, and I would say, hey, gorgeous, good morning. And she's like, oh, hi, thank you. She's loved that. She loved that type of attitude from me. And there's another lady, hey, gorgeous, good morning. Mark, that is sexual harassment. And I'm like, okay, not with you, but with you. Not with you, but with you. It's gorgeous to you, not so much just good day to you, ma'am, something like that. So like there's different speeds for different ladies. You got to learn that. I learned it the hard way. She didn't sue me or anything. She just told me that, and I was like 19, and I was like, never say that again. And that was the end of that. So it's not about the vibe you're putting out. It's always how it's received. So if it's not received well, I'm sorry, and we move on with our lives. Kevin, good morning, Kevin. Mally, what's up? Brad, what's up? Cody, what's happening? Mally. The only Milton I know is Milton Thompson. I didn't even think of that yesterday. Darian, what's going on? Charlie, how are you? Good morning. Alyssa, is it safe in here today? Now, hold on a second. Okay, so that was another thing. Did this happen yesterday, too? Was somebody being a little creeper in the chat? Somebody being creeper yesterday? There's no creepiness in the chat. This is the chat check. We're all friends in the chat check. We're all respectful, more importantly, in the chat check. Kevin, good morning again. Mally, hello again. John Cheeseborough, bright and early this morning, my friend. What's going on? Oh, people were, okay, Mally thinking that loss was really hanging with me because of my shirt. It is the darker blue variety today, but Alyssa, you're right. It's not the emo shirt, which, by the way, is just still hanging up. Like, I just think I need to iron it, and then I'll bring back emo Mark. April, good morning, April. John Tudor, also like Farzy, as the day went on, I was truly annoyed with Duck Rivers, and I realized that I'm out on him. John is out on Doc Rivers. I am out on Duck Rivers as well. It dawned on me the other day, because it really started with the Joel Embiid's tired thing. Sixers lost to the Nuggets. Embiid had to come out after the back-to-back, had to come out like 5 minutes into the game, whatever it was. He looked at Doc Rivers and he just said, I need to come out. And Doc said that in his post-game press conference. And I'm like, I don't know if Joel really wanted that out there, and maybe you shouldn't have played him the night before. Like, just a thought. Maybe rest him for a game that meant a little bit more, playing against a better team, especially meant a little bit more to him in the MVP race, because I hate to break this news. I don't think Joel Embiid's getting the MVP. I don't think that's happening. And that sucks. He's great, but I think he's going to be a runner-up again. What's the term? Always a bridesmaid, never a bride. April, are we fighting? Is that creep back? Oh, John Cesar, April, I'm here. I like when you guys do defend each other. That is nice. But let's all be nice. Let's all be nice. Oh, EM and John and Cheese. All right, guys, if there's going to be a fight, at least let me set up an event, celebrity boxing match, and let's all make money off it. Okay? Alyssa, I'm going to answer your question about somebody dropping a baby girl. Like, hey, baby girl, something like that. Has it ever worked for you? Here's my theory on that question. Has it ever worked for you? When I have heard, especially going through the Me Too movement, of some real creepers, like legit creepers, EM, I'm not putting you in this category by any means, but I'm just saying, when I hear about these uber ultra creepers, I always think to myself, this had to work at some point. Like, there's no way this behavior continues unless they went 1-for-1 on their first one. Like, if they didn't use a line, if they didn't say something, if they didn't act a certain way, and it didn't work, they're not going back to that, because ultimately our minds as dudes is what will bring me success. And if it worked that one time, it might work again. And something tells me that at some point it worked. And that got them a lady. And this is the way to do it. And it doesn't work. Like, I blame first and foremost the person, the dude, for going that route. And then I blame the lady for being like, why would you encourage this? You've ruined it for everybody after you. What the hell? So yeah, that's how I look at it. It had to work once, right? That line worked. Really? Well, yeah, I've used it again, so it was only encouragement. Everyone, we're all having fun. We're all having fun. Chat was piping hot at 6:15 this morning. Still going. Much respect to the guys. That's very nice. Ben Timmons, what's going on? What's going on? Everyone play nice. Jim, Grasmeter, what's up, buddy? Cody, what's happening? All good vibes. No slap zone. Mullet, did you see that Chris Rock's shows are just selling out? He's coming to Philly. He's coming to the Met. Apparently, he addressed it on stage at a Chicago comedy club last night. And I just saw this as well. Apparently, the Oscars, the people at the Academy, asked Will Smith to leave after the slap incident. I saw, what's his name, that Jim Carrey guy. I saw he came out and was like, oh, it was this awful thing that Will Smith did. And I was like, yeah, I agree. But I saw he came out and was like, how do you give him a standing ovation after something like that? And then I don't know if he went into how is he still there, but I know a lot of people went into how is Will Smith still there. If it was anybody else, he would have been escorted out. Well, apparently they asked him to leave, and he was like, nah, I'm about to win an Oscar. I'm not going anywhere. Darian, it's one thing for JC to be creepy and print out old pictures of CT's thumbs and plaster them in the living room, but that's private. Darian, that always makes me think of a windowless van and developing pictures, hanging them from a string. Look at this thumb. Farzy or Milton, Ben Timmons. Ah, come on. Oh, wait. Oh, my God. He looks like a baby. And then Cody says to Ben, Farzy or Milton? I don't think I look like a baby. If I didn't look like a baby, I mean, the baldness I got going for me, the fat face I got going for me, the beard, not so much. Ben, Farzy looks like a bearded kitty cat. That's a first. I haven't gotten that one before. Kitty cat Farzy? Oh, that's great. Hey, didn't we just talk about being respectful? I saw Brad Timble put in the chat here, meow Farzy. That was the first thing I saw during the interview. So I was like, meow Farzy. What the hell did I say? And then I go back and realize that you guys were saying I look like a cat. That's a fat cat. Tell you that much. Not a Cowboys fan, Shiloh. You're damn right. I sniffed that out. He is not a Cowboys fan. Real time, I saw you say that that he's a real one, that Milton Williams was a real one for the simple fact that he owned the Sean Alexander Madden of 07. That was, I want to say, so I was off when I was really starting my career. There was like a period of time where 10 years I didn't watch TV, I didn't play video games. Like I left off video games at Madden 07 probably. And then I came back for Madden 2015. Yeah, because I started in 05 and then that makes sense about 10 years later. So I went from that to PS2 to PS4 Madden. And it was mind-blowing. It was like playing video games again for the first time. It was like playing on my Sega Master System. All right, this is the second time I think in 3 weeks I've referenced my Sega Master System. My brother and I had a Sega Master System, and it had the sports of great baseball, great golf, and what was the other one? And Pat Riley basketball at Sega Genesis. But great golf, great baseball, and I think that was it. Those were the only sports games. And then I went from that, when I went from that to a Sega Genesis, that was mind-blowing. The next big jump for me was PS2 to PS4. That was might as well be just controlling television and real humans. I saw Bruce Willis, man, taking a step away from acting, health concerns that apparently are going to affect his speech. Hey, real time, you're right. Pray for the bald brother. When you're a brother in baldness, you're a brother for life. Unless you get a toupee, then you're out of the pack. You're gone. All right. You can always get Duck Rivers special, a.k.a. tattoo hair. We're all having fun here. NBA 2K is weak sauce. You can't score, and they can score when they want. Well, that's some BS. By the way, I did it one time as part of a bit when I was at NBC. I played with the Sixers gamers, and the concept of everyone on one team does not make any sense to me. That's not fun. I don't find that fun. You got to sit next to me on my sofa, and we got to play a game, and I got to beat you. We're on a team here. If we're playing a video game together, you're my sworn enemy, and I wish you nothing but failure. That's how I roll. That's the house I grew up in. Another reference to Sega Genesis, Joe Montana football. Here, this will make me seem really old. If you play Joe Montana football, it was one of the first video games that had a broadcast. And I think they called it Joe Montana Sports Talk Football. And it was the most computer-generated sound, generic, robotic, generic announcer voice. And I don't remember if it... I think it was right in the middle of Madden. It might have been Sega's answer to Madden. It might have been. But it was literally something along the lines of, welcome to Joe Montana Sports Talk Football. Boom, 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 boom. And had this really weird type of, okay, that's too much detail. Me scoozy. Definitely real time. April, what's happening? NASCAR, definitely not my jam. Just a bunch of left turns. April, you and I strongly agree. I went to one NASCAR event. No, thank you. Glad you said that. What the hell what happened here? Yeah, Mac, his numbers were good for a rookie. Absolutely, Mac. Milton Williams' numbers were pretty damn good. Hannah, what's going on? Nice to see you. Real time, hello again. John Cheeseborough, what's happening? Rick, what's going on, Rick? Now, this is where you guys are all talking about how adorable Milton Williams is. Sean Gillespie, 2 sisters, the horror, 1 is a nightmare. I grew up with a brother, so I don't know the brother-sister dynamic. Like, that's going to be something my wife and I discover. Like, she has a brother. She has 2 brothers who both love me from jump. But I don't know the brother-sister dynamic. I only know the brother-brother dynamic, which is violent. When you make up a game that is full contact ping pong, it's violent. So the brother-sister relationship, I hope, is less violent. Let's hope for that. Plus, my daughter's a mutant. She is just ginormous. They sent us pictures from her school, and it's like she's a 40-year-old woman with a mullet who bowls and smokes Camels, and everybody else is appropriately the age and height and weight of like a normal child. And she's like the person that drove them to school. Like, that's what my daughter looks like in photos with her, like, 2.5-year-olds in school. It's like, oh, that's my daughter right there with she's got a pack of Camels and she's carrying her bowling bag. And yeah, she brings her own shoes to the bowling alley. That's the best way I can describe my love for my daughter and what my daughter looks like compared to her other classmates. Alyssa says China is interesting for Milton. Oh, hold on. Whoa, Alyssa, have you been to China? The wall is very hard to walk on. Interesting. I like that stuff. I like old stuff. I want to go around. I told you guys I'm going to be going to London and hopefully Paris as well. Like, I want to see the old. I've been to London. London's cool. London's a cool vibe. I've never been to Paris. I haven't heard good things, but I kind of just want to go and look at old stuff. So yeah, I want to do that. Luigi, Lil Toots, a.k.a. Dikembe Mutombo Farzetta. Not far off. Not far off. Ooh, here we go. Oh, thank you, Matt. Glad you enjoyed the interview. Oh, Kevin, John Cheeseborough tells Kevin that he had a Dreamcast. Oh, yeah, Kevin, I know you had Sega Master System, but did you ever mess around with Dreamcast? I have a Laserdisc, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, Dreamcast, N64 setup to a projector. It's the bee's knees. Oh, my God. That's clutch right there. N64, if you weren't playing GoldenEye on N64, were you even cool? Let me answer the question. No, you were not. Luigi, you know what? I got you guys. Yes, our subs are climbing, and I appreciate you noticing that. And more people are watching the show, and the team behind the Farzy show, everyone at Buzz Sports Entertainment, has done a great job promoting it, and I appreciate it. I already have a plan in place that as we continue to grow, the OGs will not get washed out. Don't you worry. I got y'all. I got yous. I got yous, guys. The Sega Master System was incredible. It was absolutely awesome. N64 was great, says April. I agree. N64 was the only version of Nintendo that I would play, and it's because of GoldenEye. That's it. Wait a minute. Freaky Cousin, real time. Why we got to talk about Freaky Cousin? Everyone says Freaky Cousin. I don't know the backstory. Ooh. Do I need to break down Freaky Cousin for everybody? For those that don't know? Didn't someone say you have a sister? I do not have a sister. That's where it comes from. I do not have a sister. I am one. My mom is one of 12, so I have a lot of cousins, and we all grew up. We all grew up really close. So whatever. But so real quick. All right. You know what? I'll go through the chat. If the chat ends on asking me for the Freaky Cousin story, I'll tell the Freaky Cousin story just for the new people. Farzy, you brought back some classic memories with Joe Montana Sports Talk Football and that weird sound. I'll never forget the theme song as long as I live. Joe Montana Sports Talk Football. And it was like impossible to complete a pass in this game. I kid you not. I have revisited this game. My cousin still has his Sega Genesis, still has it. And I have gone over and I have played this game as an adult. I still have no idea how to complete a pass. No Montana Sports Talk Football. Boom, 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 boom. And the graphic, the NFL Shield logo would spin. It was amazing. The chat just jumped all the way to the bottom, and it's all Freaky Cousin. It's Freaky Cousin Friday, Freaky Cousin, Freaky Cousin. All right, Paul, James, I think, Alex, Mally. All right. Oh, Blimp View. What the hell was happening when he put it on Blimp View, Mullet? All right, here we go. Here's the Freaky Cousin story. All right. And Jim, PJ, I don't think I've told you this story. I don't think you know this story. No. All right, so here you go. A few years back, I go to my cousin's wedding. And here's the dynamic. My cousin, his best man, his best friend, is also his brother-in-law, okay? So his best friend married his sister, my other cousin, okay? That's the dynamic. I was at the wedding, and I remember we went right into, we like had a prayer before the meal. We ate, and I remember looking around going, oh, I guess there's no speeches. And me and my cousins were all like, I guess there's no speech in the wedding. Okay, fine, no speeches. So I remember going up to get a drink, and on my way back to the seat, I bump into the best man. And I haven't seen him in a while, and he's like, Mark, what's going on? How you doing? And he is hammered. And I'm like, well, God, I'm glad they're not doing speeches because my man's hammered over here. So I go and I sit down, and literally as I sit down, I hear the, everybody, hey, quiet down, we're going to do speeches. And the maid of honor does her speech, and she was great. She's real sweet, and everyone's crying. And then the best man got up, and I went, oh, God, he's speaking? This guy broke all the rules when it came to the best man speech. Well, first off, he didn't tell the bride how beautiful she was. Didn't say that, which is like, if you've ever done a best man speech, that's leading off. And then you say, oh, and you'd say to the groom, oh, happy you could make it, something stupid. And then you say some sweet things about the couple, and you maybe make it 2 minutes at most, and then you sit the hell down. This guy didn't acknowledge the bride, didn't acknowledge any family, talked about how he and my cousin would slay it on the boardwalk of Ocean City, Maryland, and then began to share the roster, listing off ladies by name that they enjoyed the company of from, once again, the Mecca of romance, the Ocean City, Maryland boardwalk. And then to top it all off, began to talk about how much of a freak his wife, the sister of the groom, was in the sack. This is my mom's side of the family. This is the Polish side of the family. There's 12 aunts and uncles, and then there's 21 first cousins. And we're all sitting there looking at this dude, and we're looking at my uncle, who's the father of the groom, the father of this guy's wife, and we're all like, hey, if he makes a move, we're right behind him. We're kicking the crap out of this kid. And from that moment on, the speech only wrapped up when people started yelling, okay. And then he was like, so let's raise our glasses. And we're like, well, you just sit the hell down. It was one of those moments. And from that moment on, I have a freaky cousin because her husband, my cousin-in-law, decided to tell everyone at the wedding. And that's why I have a freaky cousin. So now, and as someone that references his cousin often, because I got 21 first cousins on the Polish side of the family, and then like on my dad's side of the family, the Italians, like everyone's a cousin. Like I got cousins that are like 85 years old, and I'm like, how is that person my cousin? They're my cousin. So that's how that works. You're either an aunt or uncle or my cousin. But it's mostly cousins. So every time I mention a cousin, everyone's like, is that the freaky cousin? And I'm like, damn it, I gotta stop talking about my cousins so much. I should just talk about my friends. So anyway, it was the worst best man speech I have ever heard in the history of really any speech ever. I remember thinking, I'm going to get in a fight tonight. I'm getting in a fight. I'm going to ruin this wedding because I'm going to beat up, like, me and my cousins are going to jump this dude for talking so disrespectfully. You know, talking about disrespect. That's disrespect. Anyway, I'm glad you guys enjoyed that. Bro went YOLO. You're absolutely right. This story is still one of the best ever. Thank you, April. Mally's crying. Remember the original time I told the story? Thank you. Honestly, love the Freaky Cousin story. Never gets old. Buckle up, boys. All right. Spot on. The best wedding speeches are short, sweet, to the point, under 2 minutes. Exactly. It's not about you. It's about everyone getting on the dance floor. Under the boardwalk, Wildwood is where I made those memories. Good for you, mullet. Keep the show going till 10 o'clock. Farzy, don't make it. Oh, okay. I'm saving this episode. Sean, by all means. Thank you. That's Sean Gillespie. Appreciate you, man. I appreciate everybody in the chat. That's the Freaky Cousin story. I know we're going a little bit long today. I appreciate you guys. I'm going to, cat's out of the bag. Jim's not feeling so good. All right. Jim's feeling a little under the weather, and he's a real trooper to stick it out through that cousin story. So I appreciate his efforts. That was our chat check. Let's jump into our morning rush brought to you by Sky Motorcars. SkyMotorcars.com. Oh, Jesus. Let's jump into a Freaky Cousin story is sponsored by Real Time. Freaky Cousin is brought to you by Rothman Orthopedics. Yes, Kevin. My mom's family is Polish, Lithuanian, and Slovak, but Polish was the celebrated culture on that side of the family. So basically, all it means is I have a lot of Catholic guilt from both sides of the family. That's all. That's all that means. Morning rush. What do we got this? What do we got today? We got the morning rush. And where's my note? Wait, what the? Freaky Cousins in my head. Oh, here we go. Sixers are in Detroit tonight, 7 o'clock tip-off. I am really hoping Joel Embiid dominates tonight, so I'm going to bet his over. I've been on a bad run with betting on Embiid lately. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think tonight's the night we see Joel Embiid go over. So tonight you got a 7 o'clock tip-off in Detroit against the hapless Pistons. So we'll see what happens in that. Thanks for watching. That was our morning rush brought to you by Sky Motorcars, SkyMotorcars.com. Thanks for listening. Thanks to watching. My thanks to our man. That was the other note for our morning rush. Malcolm Jenkins. I can't do a show the day after he announces retirement without mentioning Malcolm Jenkins. One of my favorite humans to cover in my time covering sports. A leader, one of the most respected people in a locker room I have ever come across. One of the most influential people I have ever come across. What he did on the football field is absolutely insane. And we'll never get another Brian Dawkins. The closest we got, and I think we'll get for a long time, is Malcolm Jenkins and what he brought to the table here. People talk about the leadership that he provided on the 2013 team. I'll never forget. And everyone wants to talk about no one likes this, we don't care, from Jason Kelsey and the speech. Everyone wants to talk about next man up. The thing I remember about Malcolm Jenkins, my two major takeaways from Malcolm Jenkins, the football player, was obviously putting Brandon Cooks to sleep in the Super Bowl. And the other was in that game, after that game in Los Angeles, where Carson Wentz blew out his knee and was done for the season. Malcolm Jenkins breaks down the team in the huddle in the locker room after the game, and he shouts out, "We all we got, we all we need." And that, for me, became even more so than next man up or underdogs or anything like that. That sentence, that's what will define that Super Bowl run going forward. This is what we got. Good. This is all we need. And it was, like Malcolm Jenkins said. Incredible leader. Loved talking to him. What people also don't know about Malcolm Jenkins is how much fun he could have. Like, if he was really into fashion. He is really into fashion. I had multiple opportunities to interview him about fashion. He gave my fashion a B+. So how about that, folks? And he could always have fun. He could laugh. You could laugh with him. You could talk about serious stuff with him as well. But ultimately, just an incredible competitor and a man that obviously we know wasn't afraid to speak his own mind and to do so, in doing so, helped elevate others and brought them up with him. I am so happy that man played in Philadelphia for a number of reasons. And I know he went back to the Saints and all that, but the man's an Eagle forever in my book. So thank you, Malcolm Jenkins, for a phenomenal career. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, everybody. You guys are fantastic as per usual. I'll be back with you guys tomorrow on a Friday show. I don't think I was showing chest hair. But anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. My thanks to Milton Williams for joining the show. My thanks to Jim Hyden fighting through a cold. And everyone at Buzz Sports Entertainment. I appreciate you guys. Be back with you guys tomorrow. Hopefully talk a little bit more Phillies Spring Training. Have a great – and Sixers win. How about that? Have a great rest of your day, everybody. This is the Farzy Show presented by Destination Retirement, destinationretirement.com, as well as coming to you live from the Steven Singer Studios every morning. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Take it easy.